Reporter Ben Symes is to watch Shelburne and Ajax at the Johan Cruyff Arena. The Conference League qualifier has just kicked off. We're on WhatsApp 0879 180 180. Delighted to say I have Eve Conway and Rachel Sheehan in studio. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm excited now watching this Ajax Shelburne game. I don't know how much interest you have in it, Rachel, but even as like an event that's happening for a League of Ireland football, it's exciting.
Yeah, Phil, I thought you were introducing me as one of the greatest athletes to come out of Cork there. I thought that's how you were bringing me into the newsround.
I mean, look.
I said, look, it's been said before, Phil.
Sonia
thanks.
O'Sullivan is that's a hell of an athlete. You know?
Yeah, she's go tier. I said, this is the nicest thing anyone's ever said about me.
I know, we say lots of nice things about Rachel.
Just when she's not listening.
Yeah, but Sonia O'Sullivan, obviously, you know, European Championships in the mid-90s were her thing. Like, it was must-watch TV. Used to gather around. We knew when she was going to kick for home to win her gold medals. And I think the excitement is back for athletics. Rome a couple of years ago was brilliant. Obviously, the relays winning the gold medal, the silver medal, Rashida, Ciara McGeehan, it was unbelievable. So plenty of room for optimism as well.
Ah, yeah, absolutely. And like we were saying before, it's not just the one name. It's not just Sonia now. There's so many athletes that are going over with medal hopes and that are household names now in varying degrees of sports as well. I think the relay team as well really captured the hearts of the nations, and especially seeing a lot of little girls going around with the bows in their hair. They set that flair off around the country.
Any athletics backgrounds in the studio?
I wouldn't have a background in athletics, but I will say I'm one of these people who've been converted in the past few years with these athletes who have become so well known here that I'm really looking forward to these games in Birmingham. Speaking of the relays, though, does one of you have a background in relay?
Well, I did relay, but I just was wondering, you know, this is where Eve was going to say, you used to throw javelin or something when it was in secondary school. Now, relay was a big thing for us in primary school, coming to Bun School, and it was all about try to get to Santry, which is where the national championships were a couple of weeks ago, and we won a medal there. But like, it was a massive thing, as in Chariots of Fire I used to play, and you'd walk around the track with a flag of the name of your school, and people would wave at you. Now, the quality of the sound, I'm pretty convinced it was a tape recorder held up to a microphone. That's how it sounded. This is going back, like, this is early 90s stuff. And we had dropped the baton the year before.
Nightmares.
Wasn't me. I was on leg 3, 1 to 2. They dropped it, gave it to me 40 yards down. I was like, what am I meant to do with that?
Wait, do a Phil Healy on it, Phil. In name and in nature, make that famous comeback, you know?
No, I couldn't. I mean, there was, I felt like just throwing it off the track and saying, we're done here. But, coming to Bun School was a big one. Never got to do community games. Obviously, that wasn't a thing in Dublin. Did you do community games?
Yeah, the community games were huge. But we had the Cork City Sports as well, just from the athletics point of view, and they used to be run in the old Park Cueve. So you'd have your qualifications from your school, which is a huge deal, and then qualifying into Park Cueve was the be-all and end-all of being a sixth class student.
And athletics you'd be doing, would it?
Athletics, yeah, the relay as well, running around Park Cueve, barefoot, grass in June. Probably one of the only times I was ever there in a sporting capacity and not just observing anything.
Yeah, no, it was a massive deal for us. I actually met the guy that did drop the baton. I met him out a few years ago. And
Never forgiven him?
We laughed about it, yeah. We did laugh about it. Because as I said, we came back the next year, we got the redemption story. And then the next year, because I was lucky that I was younger than everyone in my class, so I was actually able to go to the class below. But the next year, I actually had the flu, and I'd never got to compete. But there was a sub in the team. The 4 lads called around to my house, and they said, "There's your medal." So we won another medal.
Ah, that's very sweet, isn't it?
Well,
do you cherish it as much, even though you weren't there?
Don't know where the medals are. Do you hold on to medals, actually? Do you have medals you hold on to from stuff that you would have got when you were younger?
A couple dance ones, but I didn't. I don't really hold on. Well, listen, I didn't. I don't think I held on to them that well. But speaking of redemption stories, Shelburne are going to need one now. Ajax have gone 1-up with a penalty very early on in that match in the Johan Cruyff Arena. It's a bit of a nightmare start then for Shelburne.
Yeah, we always want to see how the League of Ireland clubs will get on against, this is European royalty, obviously not the Ajax that they were a few years ago, but let's go to that Johan Cruyff Arena. Ben Symes, our reporter, is there. Ben, as Eve said, penalty already for Ajax. How did it happen?
Yeah, 6 minutes on the clock here, Phil. It is already Ajax 1, Shelburne 0. It was Mika Götze, the star man for Ajax. He set the move to PSG before the end of the window. Jordi Cruyff has been stalling it, hoping that he can keep him in. He goes down under the silent challenge from Mbeng. And to be honest, it looked at the time like it was going to be a penalty. The play carried on for another 2 or 3 minutes, and eventually the referee was called over to the Moller Atiye Karaglan of Turkey. And he looked at it, I'd say, just about a minute. And he made up his mind that it was a penalty. Götze himself steps up, waits for Beach to move down to his right-hand side and just slotted it down the middle. Like, I can't lie, Phil, that to say it's been coming after 6 minutes is a bit premature, but Shelburne have immediately just dropped back in from the kickoff into a shape at the back. There's no set striker on the pitch for them. Daniel Kelly is the one who leads the line. I'll just run you through their team very, very quickly. Bone, Paddy Barrett and Cameron Ledwidge, and Mbeng and Norris are the wings. Jack Henry Francis and Kerry McEnroy are in the middle, and then it's the front. Evan Caffrey, Sean Moore. There's another clip. Shelburne with a lot to do here. 9 minutes on the clock, and it is Shelburne 0, Ajax 1.
Yeah, it's Ben Symes from the Johan Cruyff Arena in Amsterdam. So I think the general feeling was that this is going to be a tough ask for Shels. Sometimes you want the home leg first. I remember I was at that Shelburne Deportivo game in Lansdowne in 2004. Finished 0-0. Great night, like about 25,000 at it. I just remember Wes Houlihan was brilliant for Shels that night. Stewie Byrne was playing. Owen Heary was the captain of Shels. Joey and Doe came on the pitch that night in the second half. But it was just like that was an unbelievable Deportivo team. I mean, there's been some really good performances from League of Ireland clubs down the years. I remember Limerick 1980 lost 2-1 to Real Madrid. Owen Hand was the Limerick manager. Limerick went 1-0 up. Real Madrid come back to win. That was in Lansdowne. Eve, we have to mention at Lone Town, AC Milan.
1975.
Yeah.
Just the 50th anniversary was last year of that that game. Held them to a 0-0 draw in St. Mel's Park. I think people maybe wouldn't know that originally I think AC Milan had wanted that game to be held in Dublin in a kind of a big, I think probably Lansdowne Road somewhere, a stadium where they could kind of show off their prowess. But no, Athlone had them down in the old St. Mel's Park. This is and there's an incredible picture of these very glamorous Italian footballers stepping off the coach in Athlone into the muddy fields of St. Mel's. And on the coaching ticket, actually, of AC Milan was Giovanni Trapattoni on that day. Little fun fact. So yeah, it's been just over 50 years since that day, and we have, as you said, like League of Ireland teams now are in Europe on a very consistent level, which is fantastic to see. Even though, listen, not a good start for Shelburne, but they're not the only team actually that are in European action today. We have Bows coming up too soon. So yeah,
I even remember obviously like the famous thing about that one is that Athlone had a penalty to score. John Minnick, it was saved. Now they lost the second leg 3-0.
That wouldn't have mattered.
But even some of the, one of the biggest ones, Waterford against Manchester United, 1968. United are the reigning European champions, first round of the European Cup, and this was played at Lansdowne Road, which, this is what happened. I mentioned Limerick. I don't think many Limerick fans turned up to that one in 1980 because they wanted the game in Limerick. But
yeah, it's not a real home tie.
No, but United came over to Lansdowne against Waterford 1968. They won 3-1. Dennis Law, like a legend of the game, scored a hat-trick that night. They reckon there was nearly 50,000 at it, but like George Best played, Bobby Charlton, Brian Law, or Dennis Law, Brian Kidd, Nobby Stiles, Paddy Crane, Tony Dunn, a Dubliner, used to play for Stella Maris. They were all there. Like that's different level. Obviously Ajax are 4-time European champions, but 3 of those were in the 70s with the great Johan Cruyff. That team in the mid-90s, John Russell referenced it before the match, how they were a team he grew up adoring as a young kid. And a lot of that team actually played for the Dutch team that knocked Ireland out of that playoff at Anfield in 1995. So, yeah, it's not as good an Ajax team, but you can see already Shels are up against it. 1-0 to Ajax, 12 minutes gone. And, Ben Symes will keep us up to date. But as you said, Bows are in action as well.
They are. So, again, they're not the only team trying to progress through to the Conference League third qualifying round. Bohemians face Danish side Midtjylland in Dublin tonight at 7:45. Now, Tallaght Stadium is the home venue for Bows tonight, with Dalymount Park unsuitable due to UEFA regulations. And Cian Byrne has been speaking about what playing the first leg in Tallaght will mean for the team.
We knew if we got this far into Europe that we wouldn't be in Dalymount, obviously, with the categories and stuff like that. But I think actually getting more fans in, obviously I'd love to have it in Dalymount because that's your home at the end of the day, but I think getting more Bows fans in, making more noise, like they really are a 12th man, especially like with the games coming Thursday, Friday, some lads are playing a lot of minutes. I really believe that when the fans are singing and chanting, it does give you that extra push. And I'm sure like we'll probably sell it out, we'll get loads of people there, and they can be the 12th man in the night.
Yeah, so that game kicks off at 7:45.
7:45 this evening.
Tough one again. Midtjylland disappointed with how they fared against Besiktas in the Europa League. They were well beaten in that, but Midtjylland are a team. Interesting story, kind of tied in with Brentford, and just one of those teams that is very well run.
We'll kind of be expected to make runs in these types of competitions.
Yeah, Europa League was the thing last season. Remember they beat Nottingham Forest. Quiz question for you: who was the Nottingham Forest manager? That'd be a good round in a crappy quiz.
It would
Just
indeed.
name games from last season and name who was the Forest manager at the time.
Was it Ange Postecoglou?
Yeah.
Well, of course you'd remember that. I feel like anything that's minorly related to Spurs on a tangent will stay in the back of his mind.
I know no Nottingham Forest fan would agree when I vehemently will still defend Postecoglou to the masses. But I mean, you could toss a coin and Nottingham Forest will have a new manager by the time it's landed on the ground. They've had such an interesting season in the last little while. But yeah, Midtjylland, well, fair play to them, but not wishing them well tonight.
It's funny, you mentioned that Dalymount Park is unsuitable to UEFA regulations. Myself and Eve did a video down in Tallaght last year with Nicola Coffey, who's the stadium manager there at the time, and the UEFA bus had just pulled up and it was getting set up for the game that evening. Remember the European game? And like we were there with the stadium manager, and even the UEFA guys were kind of like, you're going to need to get out of our way.
Yeah.
It was mad to see them. Like they were putting in VAR in the goals and everything while they were there. Like the adjustments that need to be made just for one game.
Yeah, it's to do with hospitality as well. But the VAR actually was used in Tallaght the other night for the Shamrock Rovers game. The penalty that they conceded against Ignacia went to VAR. It wasn't given originally, but yeah, it's strange because I think one of the great selling points of the League of Ireland is that there is no VAR. Proper football. Goal goes in, celebrated. Should actually mention that we have live commentary tomorrow. It's Shamrock Rovers and Dundalk, 8 o'clock kickoff. Stephen Doyle and Richie Towell. Which, I mean, it is the Richie Towell derby, Shamrock Rovers and Dundalk. So that'll be an interesting one. Shamrock Rovers looking good to get league phase football in the.
I mean, they're going to Albania next week with a 2-goal advantage.
Should be more.
Stephen Bradley said that as well. They should have. He said they should have scored 4 on the night, and they kind of sort of did because then, of course, the goal they conceded was a rebound off Aaron Green after that penalty, an own goal, unfortunately for them. But no, they can be very positive going into next week.
Yeah. Speaking of tomorrow's show, some massive news. Obviously, this weekend there's boxing at the 3 Arena with Suffolk Boxing. Aaron McKenna fighting for a world title. Callum Walsh was in studio last night, but some big stars are coming to town for that. They'll be in studio tomorrow.
Oh my God, Cole, did you know about this? Not at all. Becky Lynch has returned.
Yeah, Becky Lynch and Finn Balor will be in studio tomorrow. WWE superstars are going to talk to Will O'Callaghan. They've got some big news to announce, and these are legends. You guys are legends, right? we get some big names in the studio. But these two, when they walk in here tomorrow, people are going to be in awe of them. When they walk in,
they're going to be in the get-up. Do you think they're going to wear a full costume?
Absolutely. And Becky Lynch, obviously being a heel, she's not going to take any crap off anyone.
Well, I'll take your word for it. I'm jealous now that I won't be in studio tomorrow.
Yeah. So, look, I mean, she gets booed because she's a heel. I think moving on nicely to somebody that got booed a lot during the World Cup every time he appeared on the screen. He didn't get booed as much as his hydration breaks, but Gianni Infantino, I feel like every day we come in, there's a new line. So,
yeah. Where
are we at today?
So today, leading FIFA figures have reaffirmed their full support for President Gianni Infantino, according to a statement on FIFA's website today. So an emergency meeting was held in Morocco yesterday after widespread anger over his now ditched plans to sell off stakes in the World Cup to private equity. Reports today claim that he's offering the 2030 World Cup final to Morocco in exchange for their backing in next year's presidential election. But UEFA, European football's governing body, are not backing down. Last week, they threatened a boycott of FIFA competitions, and today they say that this boycott still stands. In a statement, they say they've made it abundantly clear in its statement on Saturday that it's lost confidence in Gianni Infantino's presidency. That position holds. Yesterday's announcement that some people employed by the FIFA president and whose careers depend on his favour agree with him changes nothing. Also today, the English FA have withdrawn their support for Infantino to be re-elected in March next year when the presidential elections are due to take place.
Yeah, so FIFA say everything's great again.
Yeah, so I mean, we should all believe them.
Yeah, they put up a statement on their website saying, yeah, it's all good. Gianni is great now, but UEFA ain't buying that. And I don't think anyone is really.
No, I mean, he has the support of some of the African federations, some of the South American federations, but to have the full weight of UEFA against him is a very imposing position to be in. I mean, that the English FA withdrawing their support today is
That's
massive.
Significant, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, also as well, like the fact that the world champions are Spain in both men's and women's football.
So you have the two most recent World Cup winners, their federations directly against the current FIFA president.
Yeah. Still Ajax 1, Shelburne 0 in the 20th minute at the Johan Cruyff Arena. That was guts with an early penalty. But that's okay. You just kind of take these games in little stacks there. Shelburne getting a bit of possession there, trying to launch an attack. But yeah, Ajax 5th in the Eredivisie last season. They had a shocking Champions League campaign.
Yeah, they went out in the league phase of the Champions League last season.
And which would, like, it's harder to do than to stay in it. Like,
yeah, in this new kind of structure that we have in European football. And again, I know we've said that Ajax aren't the European powerhouse that they used to be, but they made the semi-final in 2019. They're still a club that you'd expect to be seeing in these later stages of competitions. For them to be in the third qualifying round for the Conference League, which didn't even exist a few years ago, is quite a fall from grace.
Yeah, certainly is. But Mo Salah, we obviously knew the move was coming. He was in Turkey yesterday, but it's all been signed, sealed, delivered. Exactly.
Cross the T's and dot the I's. Former Liverpool striker Mo Salah's transfer to the Turkish league has been confirmed. The 34-year-old has joined Trabzonspor on a 2-year deal. He, of course, as you alluded to, arrived in Istanbul yesterday wearing the club's colours to great fanfare. A crowd of 25,000 greeted him yesterday. He's been a free agent after ending his 9-year stay at Anfield after last season.
So Keith Tracy will join me in studio after 9 o'clock, talk football. We're going to have Gareth Roberts on with us as well, because Mo Salah's gone, which we obviously knew he was going, and Liverpool still haven't got a replacement for him. And Liverpool fans are starting to get a little bit twitchy that there hasn't been much activity in the transfer market. 2.5 weeks out from the opening game, which is away to Newcastle, a game you'll be able to hear on Off the Ball on our first weekend of live Premier League commentary. But Newcastle have unveiled their new manager today. 9 new managers in the Premier League next season.
I mean, that's mental when you think about nearly half of the Premier League managers are going to be new. But yeah, anyway, as you said, Matthias Gisela was announced or confirmed late last night, early this morning for Newcastle. He's today given his first interview since being confirmed as the new head coach. The former Al Ahly manager takes over, of course, from Eddie Howe, who departed the club last week after 5 years at St James's Park. And as you said, there's only 3 weeks until Newcastle's opening Premier League fixture at home against Liverpool, and Gisela wants his players to be prepared.
Well, the Premier League by itself is something special, right? And then joining this club, it's even more special. Again, with that fan base, with that passion the supporters show for that club, it's really, really interesting to be part of that. And again, it comes with a big privilege, but also a big responsibility. And I'm aware of it, and I will do my best. We need to use these 3 weeks till Liverpool in the best possible way. Really focus on what we can influence. I used to say control the controllables, and then I'm pretty sure if everyone, like here, the staff, the players and the fans are going in the same direction, then it's gonna be a really interesting and successful season.
Yeah, that's Newcastle's new manager, Matthias Jaissle. Let's go back to Amsterdam, the Johan Cruyff Arena. There has been a second goal, Ben Symes.
Yeah, Phil, and it's gone the way of Ajax again, and you have to say that goal was coming. Again, it's Owen Wijnal with the goal, the left back. He had a chance just moments prior. There was a ball over the top of the Shelburne defence. Sam Bone got back to deny him and put the ball out for a corner. Eventually, they work it from that corner, and the ball comes into the box. Wijnal is at the back post, and he fires it into the roof of the opposite corner of the net. Shelburne have looked like they could have caught Ajax on the break a couple of times. Sean Moore, Daniel Kelly and Kerr McElroy linking up, but ultimately coming to nothing. And what was already an uphill task at 1-0 has just got a serious altitude incline to it. It's Ajax 2, Shelburne 0, and we're only 24 minutes in. This could be a long night for John Russell's men.
Yeah, Ben Symes in Amsterdam for us, 2-0 to Ajax. Findal with the second goal for Ajax. Scott's got the first from a penalty. Now, big weekend, Croke Park. You know, we've had the drama of the football final last weekend, the football final the weekend before, and obviously Limerick were far too strong for Galway in the hurling final. But the trilogy, are you ready for the trilogy, Rachel?
I'm ready, Phil. I just about recovered from this time last year, I think, from the defeat at the hands of Galway in that unbelievable, unanimously voted the best All-Ireland final of the lot last year. Yeah, it's Cork and Galway going at it again. They've won a piece now in the trilogy that you called it, and I think everyone is so excited to see this battle in Croke Park on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, as you say, it's coming up this Sunday. Galway are attempting to go back-to-back for the first time in their history, while Cork are looking for revenge in what is a repeat of last year's final. Galway player Roisin Black is excited for another battle with their rivals.
You know, we've had great battles with Cork over through the years, and we bring out the best of each other, and we know it's going to be a huge battle ahead of us, and just getting ready and preparing for it as best we can. The shows we put on the last year and the year before that, it's great. You know, if it keeps building camogie and the support that we're getting, all the better. And yeah, I'm sure we're in for a great battle.
Yeah, that's Galway's Roisin Black. Now, Rachel, I know you spoke to Laura Tracy ahead of this weekend.
Yeah, Laura, Cork legend, played in 11 finals herself, announced her retirement at the start of the year. So All-Ireland final week for her is looking a lot different to how it usually does. So I had a chat with her about how she deals with a week like this compared to, she hasn't had a year without something like this, bar 1 or 2 years when they didn't make the finals since before she left school. So it's a real lifestyle adjustment. Got her thoughts on the match, how she thinks it's going to go, what key matchups we should be looking out for. We stayed very partial and unbiased, I promise, throughout the whole recording.
I expect nothing less. Yeah, that's going to go out between 8 and 9, and we'll also preview the final with Rachel and with Sarah O'Donovan, and that's coming up after 8 o'clock. And as I said, we've got Sonia O'Sullivan to come after 7:30 for the European Athletics Championship preview as well. We'll stay with Cork and that great minor football team that they have.
Yeah, so Cork captain Joe Miskela has won the 2026 Electric Ireland Minor Footballer of the Year award. Miskela is one of 7 Cork footballers honoured on the Team of the Year. Runners-up Tyrone have 6 representatives, while 2 Kildare players make up the rest of the team. Yeah,
I have to say, when I saw that he got this award, it was like Miskela, and then, John Miskela. He's been more my vintage, his dad. That's when, you're getting old. But John Miskela is a great player. Obviously, Joe is following in his footsteps.
Yeah, he's putting it up to him with an award like this. Unbelievably articulate as well. He spoke so well on behalf of the team after they won and after they had that incredible comeback against Tyrone. So there's a strong surge of football coming underage at Cork level.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, some update on Lee Reeves. Obviously, was involved in the boxing last weekend at the 3 Arena. I mentioned that there's boxing this weekend, but we have an update from Frank Warren.
We do. So promoter Frank Warren has given a positive update on the health of Limerick boxer Lee Reeves. Reeves was hospitalised after suffering a heavy knockout during his fight with Gary Cully in the 3 Arena on Saturday. Warren says he's been in contact with Reeves' team and the 31-year-old is making progress in hospital. Yeah,
we wish him all the best and hopefully fully recovers. And just to finish, an update on Live Golf. Obviously, there's been a lot of uncertainty about the future of Live Golf, and you see players coming back to the PGA Tour, the DP World Tour, but maybe there is still a future for Live Golf.
Yeah, it mightn't be going anywhere quite yet. So Live Golf has secured new investors, which should ensure the tour's survival until at least 2030. Saudi Arabia's public investment fund withdrew their support for the tour earlier this year, raising serious doubts over its future. But Chief Executive Scott O'Neill announced yesterday that a lead investor has come on board, but didn't reveal any further details on their identity. The deal is due to be finalised in September, and under the new arrangements, players will also own a majority equity stake in the league. There's going to be 10 annual team events and then 5 global team majors across the season.
Okay, lovely stuff. We will leave the news round there. Thanks very much, Rachel. Thanks, Eve. And it's still Ajax 2, Shelburne 0. The news round is brought to you by Viagra Connect. 50 milligram film coated tablets, contains sildenafil for adult men with erectile dysfunction. Maximum dosage 1 50 milligram tablet per day. Always read the label. Buy online at viagraconnect.ie. Subject to suitability following pharmacist consultation. Now it's time for the cash machine.
News Talk Summer Cash Machine.
The cash machine has been reloaded and there's going to be another guaranteed winner. The number you need to know is €303,000. 2 ways to enter. You can visit newstalk.com/cash machine where you can enter online or text play